what brings you here today?
I've been invited to speak or to participate at a panel around the financing of shipping later today here at Capital Link. I'm a regular participant of Capital Link forums anyway,
Right.
so that's why I'm here.
All right. And what are you looking forward to in 2019?
2019 is an interesting year. It's really pivotal for the shipping industry for a number of reasons. Number one is that we have a slowing global economy, it seems, that is actually going to have an impact on the amount of traded volumes. And while 2017 has been, and the beginning of 2018 has been a period where world trade has been growing quite fast, we've seen a slowdown. And I think that has an impact on shipping. And then there's events that are happening like the Vale accident that has an impact on cape sizes. We have the IMO 2020, which is coming up pretty soon. That's going to have another impact. So it's going to be a very volatile market. And players are really positioning right now to see how they're going to take advantage of the opportunities. And the other issue that is actually complicating matters for ship owners in particular is the availability of funds. We at Amsterdam Trade Bank, of course, are one of the banks that is new to the industry and increasing its exposure quite fast. And we're pleased to do that, obviously, because we feel that shipping is the lifeblood of a global economy. So it's actually great to be able to support such a global industry which is so important for world trade. On the other hand, we see that there are pressures as traditional banks are moving out. And I don't think we've seen yet the substitute to traditional bank lending for shipping. Of course, the fact that you have a new number of participants like funds here from the US or other places that are coming to the industry or the Chinese leasing is quite important, but it's not yet at the level that is going to be able to substitute traditional bank lending. And I still feel that traditional bank lending is really the primary source of funding for the industry and should continue to be that going forward as long as the incumbents and the big banking groups start pricing the transactions appropriately.
And in terms of where you put your investments, are you worried about any regulations that are coming up, or are you?
Absolutely, I think that's a good question. Of course, what has happened in the past few years, we've seen a shift again away from Basel II, Basel III into Basel IV. That's going to have a big impact in the ability and the willingness of institutions to continue funding not just shipping but other asset-heavy type of industries. We've seen that already. Of course, as I said earlier, the big question is whether you've priced your book or your new facilities according to the new regulations. This is what we do, and that's what allows us actually to continue growing our business right now. And the other big impact we're going to see is from regulations pertaining to environmental protection and CO2 emissions. A lot of people talk about 2020, IMO 2020, but I think the big elephant in the room, as far as I'm concerned, is what happens afterwards. Because if you look at the Paris Accord and the goals set for the reduction in CO2 emissions, you probably realize that within 10 years, the whole fleet has to probably go down to zero reductions if we're going to meet those targets. That's, of course, we know that that's impossible, but what is the solution? And I think what we will see is we will see increased government pressure that's going to come through the banking system onto companies in order to be able to monitor, assess, and improve the performance as far as CO2 emissions are concerned.